The sun was setting, and light and darkness were beginning to weave through each other in the sky. The two Fidneys, taking Saria with them, had barely descended the slopes of Mount of Olives on the opposite side and moved a little ahead, when suddenly from behind a rocky obstruction, a lone rider emerged like a wanderer who carried the decrees of fate, like a thunder-bearing traveler from distant horizons, a blood-stained rover of ruthless lands. He appeared and blocked the path of the two Fidneys and Saria. The moment Saria saw him, she was stunned. He was the same man who had spoken to her on the peak of Mount of Olives after Abu Firas and his two Fidneys had departed for Jerusalem. He had wished to know in detail what they had discussed, but Saria had scolded him and forced him to leave. Seeing him now, a turmoil of strange thoughts rushed through her mind. Suddenly, with a swift movement, she unsheathed her sword, gripped her shield, and, addressing the Fidnes, she spoke with the intensity of a storm, her voice filled with a sharp sting, her brow knotted, her veins burning with resentment, as though waves of anguish and tempests of wrath had burst forth from within her. When you reached Jerusalem, what bargain did you strike against the Muslims? Where is your leader Abu Firas? And why are you taking this girl with you to dishonor her, to defile her dignity, to rob her of her purity by dragging her to your filthy, vile den? Hearing this, the two Fidnes were taken aback. Their eyes began to blaze with fury, their faces flushed with rage. Then one of them, like the scorching, turbulent waves of a deserted sea, addressed the rider blocking their path. Asterisk, asterisk, who are you to obstruct our way? Why have you, in the heat of your emotions, let the shadows of deprivation cloud your mind, filling your blood with restless longing like one doomed to wander? Your standing in our path is unnatural. You are alone. We are two. And in swordsmanship, we are far more skilled than you. Even men do not see the foolishness, the sheer stupidity of stopping us. Move aside. We must reach our destination. This girl we have not snatched. We acquired her through an agreement with King Baldwin of Jerusalem. He himself handed her to us that I warn you, do not force us to deal with you. I give you a few moments only. Move your horse aside, let us pass, and nothing will happen to you. But if you continue standing before us, then write upon the parchment of your heart that on these slopes of Mount of Olives, the night destined for you will not descend. Asterisk, asterisk, in response, the writer flared up with a tone that stirred sorrow even in unfeeling hearts. Asterisk, asterisk, servants of Hazan bin Saba, agents of the devil, do not be deceived. I am not unarmed, nor ignorant of swordsmanship. If you must know who I am, then listen. I am Husam-ud-Din, commander of Sultan Salahuddin. Before I reduce your vile desires to ashes and unleash upon your hearts a blazing inferno, tell me, what treachery have you and Abu Firas devised with the Crusaders in Jerusalem? This is my first and foremost demand, and if you refuse to answer, then no merchants of lust. I am a calamity that will make your fate worse than the haunted ruins and dark shadows of death itself. His voice thundered on. You are guilty of two great crimes. First, conspiring with King Baldwin of Jerusalem against the Muslims. Second, abducting this girl and carrying her by force to your fortress of Alamut. Do not be mistaken. I saw all three of you conversing with her atop Mount of Olives. And when you departed for Jerusalem, I approached her to inquire further, but she refused to speak. He continued, You shall not take this girl with you, nor shall you pass without answering me. She's the daughter of a shepherd, and I will not allow her honor and purity to be destroyed. My patience is short. Answer what I have asked. If you refuse, then know this, my bloodthirsty sword will unleash autumn upon your souls, and you will be scattered like helpless straw in the violent waves and storms of destruction. Asterisk, asterisk, his voice grew colder. Demons of desire. Before I descend upon you like death itself, answer my questions. One of the Fidnes burst into a terrible laugh. Asterisk, asterisk. Foolish man. You threaten the two of us while standing alone. Even if you try to flee now, we will not let you. You have revealed your identity. Ye shall not escape to Salahuddin again. Let the heavens witness whether you carve agony upon our lives, or we descend upon you like storms of grief and extinguish your every breath. We know you are Salahuddin's feared commander, appointed guardian of the borderlands due to his nephew Farrukh Shah's illness. But today the slopes of Mount of Olives shall witness us drench you in blood before continuing our journey. Husam-ud-Din let out a thunderous laugh. With the hand that held his sword, he stroked his horse's neck in a particular way. Once the horse grew restless, snorting sharply, stamping the ground, switching its hooves with rapid nervous energy, as if pledging itself to its master. Then Husam-ud-Din spurred the horse, and with a fierce neigh it rose vertically and charged forth like a storm. The Fidniya saw the beast obey his every sign, rising on its hind legs, then galloping forward with terrifying speed, and then Husam-ud-Din became a whirlwind. He hurled himself upon them like a vortex of blood-soaked fury, like a storm of torment that twists every path, like flames that stir chaos, like the approaching embrace of death. The Fidnis too attacked ferociously. But Husam-ud-Din defended himself with masterful skill and unleashed upon them a deadly, relentless counterassault. Time witnessed his might. His strikes carried the precision of a potter's hand, the power of a crashing ocean, the roar of wild waves. Saria stood frozen in fear, watching silently, trembling. Husam-ud-Din moved like a spirit of death rising. From the dust of illusions, like forces of anguish summoned to life upon the earth, suddenly, a dreadful scream tore through the air. Saria saw Husam-ud-Din sever one Fidnes leg in a brutal strike, sending him crashing helplessly to the ground. The second Fidni glanced at his companion in alarm, and that single glance became his doom, for Husam-ud-Din's sword descended upon him in an arc of death, slicing from shoulder to ribs. He fell from his horse and died instantly. Husam-ud-Din dismounted. He saw that the man cut from shoulder to ribs was dead. Then he approached the one whose leg had been severed, still alive. Husam-ud-Din took his sword and shield from him, sat beside him, and said, listen. Your companion is dead. You alone remain. I will ask the same question again. Answer truthfully, or know this, I will tie you to my horse and drag you across these rocky cliffs until you die in agony. Now speak, where is Abu Firuz? What plot did you weave with the Crusaders in Jerusalem? And how did you obtain this girl? Terrified. The Fidni confessed everything, from the conversation atop Mount of Olives to their plan to take Saria to Alamut and their discussions with Baldwin. But he hid from Husam-ud-Din the Crusaders' intention to attack Muslim lands through Ramla and then Jalut. When he fell silent, Husam-ud-Din let out a cold laugh and said, before the fight. Your tongue was bold, filled with pride, hatred, and the arrogance of dark nights. Why now do you sit silent and lifeless like a withered leaf drifting on the sea of sorrow? Speak as you spoke before. Let me see how far your defiance runs. The Fidna remained silent, closed his eyes. Seeing this, Husam-ud-Din stood up and ended his life with a final strike. When Saria fell silent, her father Kingian began to speak with great sorrow and deep grief. Saria, my daughter. Sultan Salahuddin's famous commander, our great benefactor and mentor, and you let him go out of the town, my daughter. You should have forcibly brought him along with you. We would have served him, arranged for his hospitality. Kingian wanted to say more, but Saria interrupted, expressing regret. Father. I asked him many times to come with me to my house, but he refused. Father. He is also displeased with us. Then Saria also informed him about the conversation that had taken place later, with Husam-ud-Din on the peak of Mount Zion between him and Thomas. Kingian remained silent for a moment, thinking. Then he looked toward his wife, Arina, and said, Arina, prepare the meal and make some extra dishes as well. He is our honored guest. We must serve him beyond our means. You all stay here. I will go to him and see what he says. At this moment, Thomas spoke, addressing Kenyon. Father, I will go with you. Without waiting for Kenyon's reply, Thomas joined him. The father and son left the town and almost ran to the place where, hidden behind a mound, Husam-ud-Din was holding his horse by the reins, sitting on a rock. Darkness had spread all around. Seeing Kenyon and Thomas approaching, he stood up and addressed them. If I am not mistaken, you are Saria's father, and this boy with you, I have seen him before. He is Saria's brother. Kenyon stepped forward and shook hands with Husam-ud-Din. Then Thomas also approached and shook hands with him. Kenyon addressed him. Why did you stand here like strangers after sending Saria home? Not only did you save our daughter's life, but also protected her from dishonor and disgrace. If she had reached Alamut, I think the three of us at home would have died of grief afterward. I am her father. My name is Kenyon. This is her brother, Thomas. And my wife and Saria's mother is Orina. We are four at home. My daughter was forcibly taken from me. A bag of money was thrown into our house, and King Baldwin's men forcibly took our daughter. They made it clear that Alamut's fida'i had chosen my daughter for their Sheikh al-Jabal, and they would take her to Alamut. We could not resist because if we did, we would have all been killed. My dear, it is your great kindness that you eliminated these two fida'i and saved my daughter. Saria praised your courage, bravery, and gallantry. Son, is it not possible that you come with us to our home and give us the chance to serve you? Kenyon fell silent. Husam-ud-Din thought for a moment, then addressed him. Respected sir, your thoughts are mistaken. Under no circumstances should I take these horses to your home. Otherwise, the townspeople will know that a stranger has come, and your lives will be in danger. The third companion of the two fighters I killed is currently in Jerusalem. He is the leader of the deceased. When he returns to Alamut and learns that his two companions did not reach, and Saria also did not, remember, he will search for her with his companions. Moreover, King Baldwin gave them 2 large bags of money to eliminate our Sultan Salahuddin. I have seen these bags. They do not care about the deceased, but that they will search for Saria because of her beauty. They could either present her before their Sheikh al-Jabal, disgracing her, or keep her in a paradise where they keep beautiful girls from various nations. To protect Saria, listen carefully. Under no circumstances keep Saria at your home. If she has other close relatives, send her there and warn them not to speak of Saria to anyone. If distant relatives are chosen, change her name. Otherwise, the hunters of Alamut will pursue her and sooner or later find her. Interrogate her about her deceased companions, and if she does not answer, they will take her to their fortress and inflict suffering that will make her life unbearable. I can help you by keeping watch on the third companion through my men. His name is Abu Firas. Whenever I receive information that he is somewhere he could encounter, I will try to eliminate him. If Abu Firas is eliminated, Saria will be safe, because no one will recognize her in Alamut. I waited here to convey this to you, so that tonight itself you send Saria to a relative. Then she will be safe. Kenyon, after thinking, said, My dear, it is a great favor that you saved our daughter's life and honor. Do one more kindness. My wife, daughter, and son trust you completely. Not far from here, on the road from Tiberias to Acre, there are 2 towns, Hatton and Chiara, about 2 farsangs from Tiberias. Saria's paternal uncle lives in Chiara. Just like us, they are a small household. Her uncle, aunt, and their daughter. My dear, if tonight you deliver Saria there safely, it will be a second favor we will never forget. After saying this, Kenyon paused and continued, I know you have to proceed on your journey, and this may be trouble for you. But I am saying this for Saria's protection. I can go myself or my son, but I fear at night we cannot protect her. My son, you must know my daughter is extremely beautiful, which has caused us hardship. If you deliver her safely to her uncle, I will remember this favor forever. Kenyon's words left Husam-ud-Din deep in thought. Kenyon, in a worried voice, addressed him, Son, by God Almighty and your prophet, do not refuse. You have saved my daughter's life and honor. Think of this as one more favor, so that perhaps we can die a natural death later. If anything happens to Saria, I believe we would face premature death by the cruelest circumstances." Then Thomas humbly spoke, addressing Husam-ud-Din. "I know your high rank. I wish my sister and I had known you. When you first spoke to us on the peak of Mount Zion, I realize now that the questions you asked were for our benefit. I have one sister, and I am her only brother. No one can imagine our love. When Baldwin's soldiers came for my sister, I wanted to resist, but my father forbade me, because they would have killed all of us. Only God obeyed us. As Saria's brother, I vow that if life allows, I will repay your favor. I also know that on Mount Zion, my sister behaved rudely during the conversation, but I salute your honor and dignity for not responding rudely. Despite her behavior caused by previous encounters with the fighters, I apologize on my sister's behalf." Thomas then bent down and took Husam-ud-Din's feet. Husam-ud-Din flinched, lifted him, hugged him, and said, "Thomas, this is not proper. You are my dear younger brother. Remember what you said, and I will call you my brother henceforth." Smiling, he patted his cheek. "Call me as you wish. It brings me joy." Then, addressing Kenyon, Husam-ud-Din said, "Respected Kenyon, do not worry. I know the fighters of Alamut are dangerous and fanatical, but regarding Saria, you need not fear. The 2 fighters I killed were eliminated. The 3rd Abu Firas I will watch carefully. If he approaches or asks about Saria, inform me. Some of my men will maintain contact, so I can act to eliminate Abu Firas and Saria will be safe." Then Husam-ud-Din explained his plan. "I am ready to escort Saria to her uncle, but I have one condition." Kenyon and Thomas, both looking toward Husam-ud-Din, expressed concern. Kenyon asked, "What is your condition, son?" "If money is needed, I am ready to give." In the darkness, with care and compassion, Husam-ud-Din placed his hand on Kenyon's shoulder and said, "You misunderstand. I am not greedy. I am not acting for wealth. Abu Firas was heading to Jerusalem with his companions to plot against the Sultan. I followed and succeeded in eliminating the 2 fighters. I am not after money. I am from the Kurdish tribe of Asbel. My family is well settled, and I am a tribal leader. After delivering Saria to her uncle, I will return to Sultan Salahuddin's army. My only condition, I wish Thomas to accompany Saria, so that he can explain all details to her uncle and ensure her safety. I will take them and then proceed to my destination." Kenyon replied, "Son, if Thomas goes, our herd will need supervision." Husam-ud-Din paused, and Kenyon reassured, "My dear, Thomas will go with you. Regarding the herd, there is no issue. Many Jewish households tend their herds and will watch ours. Thomas will stay with his sister a few days, and I will arrange the herd management." Kenyon then said, "My dear, when Baldwin's men took Saria, they wanted to give a bag of money, but I refused. You may take it. It may be useful." Husam-ud-Din smiled and said, "You misunderstand. The 2 fighters I killed were carrying 2 large bags of money from Baldwin to entice them to kill our Sultan. I have secured them. You may keep them as well." Kenyon embraced Husam-ud-Din and said, "No, son. These bags will help you in the army's expenses. Spend on what is needed. It is a noble act. As for our finances, the herd is not our only source. The herd is Thomas's passion. We have goats, a large garden, and fields sufficient for income and savings. I wish circumstances allowed me to take you to our mansion, show our garden and stable. Alas, we cannot. We can only serve and honor you here." Husam-ud-Din was deeply moved. He hugged Kenyon and patted his shoulder. "Your hospitality is complete. Now return with Thomas and bring Saria, so we may depart." Thomas and Kenyon thanked him in turn and headed back to the town. Husam-ud-Din returned to his previous rock on Mount Zion. Kenyon and Thomas entered their mansion. Saria and her mother, Irina, emerged anxiously. Irina asked eagerly, "Have you decided?" Kenyon reassured, patting her shoulder. "Irina, do not worry. He is a most honorable man. I have spoken in detail. Saria cannot stay here because the fighters will search for her. Therefore, I decided to send her to her uncle. Thomas will accompany her a few days and return. Irina, worried, asked, "Will she face any danger on the way?" Kenyon replied, "Irina, do not worry. Husam-ud-Din has taken them. Do you think Saria will be in danger from him? He rescued her from two fida'is. He will protect her." Irina protested, "I worry that some fida'i may attack them on the way." Kenyon smiled, "Leave such thought. He is with them. Now prepare them quickly." We should have hosted him, but he refused. "Prepare food for him now and for tomorrow morning. He will not stay after leaving Saria and Thomas. He will return to Sultan Salahuddin's army." Irina said, "May I also go? You will accompany us and see them off?" Kenyon took a deep breath. "Even if you hadn't said that, I would have taken you. Prepare quickly. You, I, and Thomas will accompany Saria. Hurry. He is waiting anxiously." With that, all four began preparing. Asterisk.